Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets.
Hey guys, I'm working the part. Psych. We're really doing this again. You guys know that 58.9% of you aren't subscribed. Like, what's going on? It's so easy. And look, here's a clip right now if you don't believe me. Anyway, there's going to be a clip the entire part probably. But anyway, you guys are going to have 5 seconds to like, subscribe, and comment down below, done it. If you comment down below, like, subscribe in that 5 seconds, or you have bad luck for the rest of your life. Other than that, I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get into it. Hey guys, and welcome to part 6 of What If Deku Could Use It at Infinite Percent of One for All. Last time we left off, it was quite a huge ending. First off, Deku became the #1 hero as he was given this license, considering that he was stronger than All Might. And they thought that it's more useful to make him a hero now and let him still go to school than keep him in school, in case he decides not to become a hero, which would mean they just use a valuable resource and a very dangerous person if he's not fighting for the right side. But then they do the hero-villain camp, and it all goes the same, and then it becomes night. And that's when the villains attack, all the same. Deku goes to save Kota. When he gets there, he saves Kota the same way, except they use at 100%. One for All's like, oh, the new #1 hero Deku. Let's see if you're cracked up to be. And he jumps towards Deku, preparing. Oh, sorry, like go for the next part, 60 likes. And he jumps towards Deku with a punch ready. But before he can do anything, Deku jumps towards him even faster, 125% smash, and punches him hard in the face. One for All stands up dazed and thinks, so that's why you're the #1. You're fast and strong. You're like me. And Deku says, no. You don't know the half of it. You're a completely inferior version than me. That's what Deku says to Muscular. And Muscular yells, and he uses his full power quirk. And he dives towards Deku with a punch. Deku blocks this punch of his muscles being stronger. And he says, my quirk's like yours, but except my muscles don't come out all buff, they're condensed down. So, I'm the superior version to you. And he says, here's a little trick. One for all. 1,000,000%. And he crushes Muscular's arm, shocking Kota. And he moves to the side and yells, Detroit! Smash! Boom! And he smashes hard down into Muscular, destroying his muscles and knocking him out. Then he picks up Kota and jumps and lands in front of the villains. That's where that girl who looks like a man says, he defeated that brute Muscular. That's why he's the #1 hero. He must be taken care of. He dives towards Deku, but instead of him being saved by the guy with the multiple arms, Deku looks at him and goes to 150%, dodges and hits him in the stomach, making the guy cough up blood, and sends him flying back. Toga looks at Deku and blushes, and she's like, Izukan. And Deku looks a bit freaked out and keeps on running. And it keeps on going and going, everything goes the same, until we see that, and they even manage to get Bakugo into a marble, and then Deku shows up and starts taking the guy out, until he secretly passes Bakugo's marble to Darby, and Darby runs away. Deku realises things off, and he sees the marble on Darby's hat and using One for All in his eyes. He's at they're about to retreat. Deku goes to 500% and flashes. Shocking Shigaraki and Darby, Deku appears in front of them in a second, with a punch lined up. But Darby manages to jump through Kurogiri's portal. Deku dives through and then he sees One for All there, who's ready for him. He throws a punch, but Deku catches it with his own hand and jumps above it, kicking him One for All in the face. He flies back but heals himself. He attempts to get Deku again, but Deku dodges, and he dives towards Darby ready to get Bakugo back. until One For All uses a telekinesis quirk, freezing Deku in place. Deku goes to 1000%, breaking out telekinesis, but All For One uses it at its max quirk, which he can't freeze Deku, but he can chuck him. And he chucks him through the portal and closes it. All For One shot at how powerful Deku is, and he's gonna have to get some more powerful quirks. And so it goes all the same. One For All fights All Might, and Deku's watching the fight. They're all thinking, why don't Deku go help them, until they realise that they're letting All Might have his fight. Then it all goes the same, and before All Might can, but instead One For All uses a new healing quirk that he got because he was scared of Deku, a powerful one he was ready, and it can heal all. He can use it once a day, and it completely resets him to his best physical point. I mean, you can use it once 10 years, so now All For One's insanely powerful again. And he goes to smash All Might, but Deku appears at 1000% and catches the punch. All For One smells, and his arm suddenly pumps up and it blows out a huge gust of air. Deku keeps his bearing while gigging his feet into the ground. All For One's impressed, thinking that he's on the same level as Deku. Deku goes to 10,000%, shocking All For One, and he punches. He realises it isn't as hard as the other punch, and they start fighting. Everyone's impressed how well Deku's doing against him, but wondering why he's only at 10,000%. Deku jumps to 1,000,000%, and All For One realises this way he needs to get serious. He goes to his full power, but he can't keep up with Deku. Deku's easily taking him on. His punches are causing leaving visible marks. His kick is, he's launching huge shots of air that's hurting All For One. And All For One's done no damage to Deku yet thanks to his muscle quirk. Deku's having enough. But he realises what they were really planning to do. All For One launches a small blast that hits All Might, and All Might drops. Deku didn't see where the blast hit, but the drop All Might made Deku feel like he was dead. Deku's eyes light up and yells, "Infinity! One For All! Smash!" Everyone's shot as the literal entire world starts shaking, and he punches. To Deku, time breaks. Everything just smashes, freezes, and it starts spinning. And a portal opens in front of Deku. He's flying through this weird time wave, and he sees other versions of himself from other universes, other dimensions, and he's like, that's the universe where I awakened a fire quirk. That's the universe where I was an alien. That's the universe where I got One For All but can only use 100%. That's the universe where I killed myself. That's the universe where I didn't get a quirk. And there's just so many universes. Deku's confused. Then he realises he's fractured time. But what he decides to do is to go to infinite percent again and turn around. He jumps. This force cancels out his own force, restoring time, and he actually hit All For One. All For One's body becomes dismembered, and everyone's amazed. The ground stops shaking, but they all felt the sudden power. And Deku's standing there at full cowl, infinite percent, and he turns it off because if he moves, he might jump into another universe. And Deku says, "There," and kicks All For One in the face. He gets taken away. Everyone starts cheering, and Deku runs over to All Might to check if he's okay. And he is. All For One just hit him with aim for his heart, but he missed, and he hit the top of his shoulder, grazing him. But All Might passed out from the previous fight. Deku now realising that All For One's out of One For All means that Endeavor's back to be number 2 hero, but he stays at number 1. And Deku just took down the greatest villain. Darby's enraged. Unlike before, he's not even sure if All For One's survived, seeing how badly Deku damaged him. And he appears and runs at Deku. Deku yells out, 10,000,000% full cow, and he flashes towards Shigaraki, punches his hand through his chest, and he says, "You tried taking everything away." And he rips his hand out. Kurogiri comes and steals him back, and he says, "If you survived in that, then I guess you really is worth being the next All For One." That's just where he sees a weird energy fly off All For One, and he jumps towards it, and he snatches it. All For One wakes up and he says, "No, no!" All for One was trying to pass on the quirk All for One to Shigaraki, but Deku stole it and got All for One himself. Deku realizes this, and he says, I can't use this. I won't use this. So now Deku has All for One. Now we go to back to normal. We go to where Deku meets Night Eye, and instead of Night Eye belittling him, we do Mirio versus Class 1A as the big three. Mirio runs up to Deku and asks for autograph, considering he's number one hero. Everything goes the same until it's Mirio versus Deku. Mirio permeates into the ground and punches up towards Deku, but Deku doesn't get any damage. And he's like, pretty cool quirk. As soon as Mirio comes back to reality, Deku 100% smashes his face. Mirio bounces into the wall, he gets up bloody, and he's like, so that's the power of the number one hero. And Deku says, nowhere near. Mirio smiles. He permeates towards Deku and starts bouncing around the place, punching, kicking. He realises he's doing no damage. Deku jumps to 100,000% and moves Mirio couldn't even see. And he's at such a speed that his Mirio's permeation slows down a bit, but not to the point Deku can punch him. This is where Deku realises what he needs to do. He yells 100,000,000%. Mirio's shocked, so is everyone else. As I was like, why is he going so strong? And Deku moves at such a speed and he punches Mirio, and due to him being so fast, his permeation isn't working. It works a tiny bit, meaning that he only felt a 500% smash. And he slams into a wall, knocking him out. Everyone, including the other bit of the big three, are shocked. And they now know the power of the number one hero and why he is the number one hero, why he's still in school. Anyway, then we go to Night Eye's agency. And Night Eye doesn't belittle Deku and actually says All for One said All Might made the perfect choice. He chose someone with the perfect quirk to use it. And then they go on their patrol. And they run into Eri. Overhaul recognises Deku as the one unknown hero and steps back a bit when Deku's holding Eri. And he says, oh, sorry about my daughter. And Eri knows who Deku is. She knows this is her chance, and she says, please help. Mirio tells Deku to just leave it. It goes against Night Eye's plan. And Deku, unlike before, Deku says, no. Mirio says, I said to leave it, following Night Eye perfectly. And Deku says, you don't command me, Mirio, remember who's the hero here. And I outranked Night Eye, and it's my responsibility. And this is why I think that Deku was a better replacement for One for All in the original. As what's it called? As Mirio is more like Night Eye, where Deku has All Might's ideals. As if Deku actually took Eri, One for All Overhaul wouldn't been able to do anything. As his quirk isn't really good for tight spaces. And his entire plan would be poof. Mirio would still have his quirk, etc. He yells at Overhaul, sorry, but you're not getting this girl back. She just asked for help, and as the number one hero, it's my job. Overhaul launches a spike towards Deku, and Deku kicks it, sending a huge wave of wind towards Deku, sending him flying backwards. And he says to Eri, are you okay? What's your name? And etc. The normal Overhaul fight happens just a lot sooner. And Mirio has his quirk. And Deku, what's it called? Oh yeah. And Deku does the same thing, but instead of going to 100% full cal, he does 500% full cal, so he absolutely destroys Overhaul. And Overhaul's like, so that's the number one hero, huh? So corrupt. And as he goes to attempt to kill Eri, as she failed, Deku goes to 1,000,000%, which he's realising he does a lot lately when he's angry. And he punches Overhaul, destroying his legs as well as his arms, knocking him into the ground. And it all goes the same. And then they find out that Eri needs to be quarantined due to her quirk. And that's when Eraserhead says it when they come over. But Overhaul wakes up and says, when I get out, I'll kill you, Eri. My quirk's perfect for the job. And Eri's crying. Deku tells everyone to leave, let him speak to Overhaul. His fingers start glowing red and black, and he stabs it into Overhaul. He says, he said to Overhaul, I promise I won't use this quirk. But you don't deserve to have a quirk, especially if you're going to threaten a little girl like that. And Deku uses All for One to take away Overhaul's quirk. And now Overhaul's quirkless. Overhaul realised that Deku has All for One's quirk now, but he can't tell anyone. He just knows if he tells someone it'll be bad. And it all goes the same. When they asked to create a quarantine area, Deku thinks he has all the quirks that One for All had. And there was one quirk that it let people control their emotions quite perfectly. And All for One and Deku 1 did a bit of work. As normally someone else had to use it on them, and as long as they were using that quirk, the other person could control it fully. But what if he gave that quirk to Eri, so if she activated that quirk, she'd be able to use her quirk and control it. He gives this quirk to Eri, shocking everyone that was watching. It was All Might and Eraserhead. And Eri takes a deep breath and activates her quirk with full control. Aizawa smiles and says, "You did it, Deku." The dorm stuff happens like usual, and Eri actually stays in the dorms. And yeah, guys, this was the last episode until the new season. I hope you guys enjoyed. I might do a special episode later. But if you did enjoy, make sure you share with your friends and family. And make sure you smash the like goal, because that will be the only like goal for a special episode. And yeah, if you did enjoy, make sure you can get me to 10k before the September, which is a huge goal, and I didn't think I'd ever hit it. But the way you guys are subscribing right now, it's insane. We might hit 10k before I even expected. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, share with your friends, family, and peace out, guys. Love you. Bye.